Glenn, have you ever wondered why some homes are fine and then others are completely destroyed during weather events like hurricanes and tornadoes? Sometimes those homes are even right next to each other. Well, building standards have a lot to do with how tough your home is in a fight against Mother Nature. And here to discuss a nationwide effort to improve standards is Cary Cohrs, chairman of Portland Cement Association. Good morning, Cary.
Good morning, Molly.
Nice to have you on the show this morning. Let's talk a little bit about what we can do to our existing home to minimize damage that we might experience during a severe weather event.
Well, in an existing home with a storm event approaching, you have to take the precautions that all do, and that is look for debris that could fly in high wind situations, or possibly trees that could get uprooted and cause damage or leak to a roof. But that's really not going to do it in the long run. What we need to be doing is constructing and building under stronger codes and standards structures that can withstand wind and fire and flood. And currently our codes and standards are far below that process.
I want to talk about how you think those can and should change. But first, I understand you have a really cool video to show of tornado structure survivability. It's like a test where you can see 2x4s tested and fired at structures. What's the point of the test and how does it work?
The video is actually quite interesting, and the purpose is we're trying to promote and show resilient construction. There's 3 wall systems, 2 of them are conventional wall systems, and the third one is a reinforced concrete wall. The projectile in this instance is a 2x4, which one would find in studs for homes, and it's catapulted at about 100 miles an hour at these particular structures. And as you can see in the video, the 2x4 penetrates the first wall easily. The second wall, it sort of breaks apart, those being conventional walls. And the third one being the reinforced concrete wall, it bounces off and falls to the ground. Much of the damage related to tornadoes, hurricanes, heavy winds can occur at a post hole, and that's when the wind is blowing through these openings and destroying the home.
How do you think building standards should change?
Well, I think every part of the country has to be reevaluated as to where they should be focusing their ability to improve and strengthen the codes and standards. For instance, in the West right now we have wildfires burning, and we should be looking at non-combustible materials in those regions. That strengthens the code and the standard. That strengthens the house for resilience. If we move to Gulf Coast regions where we have hurricanes, again, we've got to be looking at, what are we going to do there in the way of vertical construction, very much like the tornadoes in the West. So every region is a little bit different.
And I think it's worth looking into. It's interesting, too, because I read you're a lifelong resident of Florida and you've personally witnessed the positive effects of how stronger building requirements in Florida in the destruction from Hurricane Andrew in 1992. So I appreciate the information and the research you've done. It was great to have you on the show. Thank you. Well,
thank you very much, and we encourage you to go to buildstronger.org. And there you can find out a great deal of information on resilient construction and the way we think we need to move this forward.
Cary Cohrs, thank you again so much.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be right back.